I want to tell you all a story about my friend Jamie. Jamie is the bravest girl in all of her town, all of the state, even. In fact, Jamie might just have you believe that she is the bravest girl in the whole entire country. Last October, Jamie went to a haunted house with her friend Jacob. They were walking through the house when a ghost, the zombie, popped out, and Jacob screamed and he screwed up his eyes and he pressed his hands over his ears. But not Jamie. Jamie took Jacob by the arm and she said to the monsters, "Excuse me, you're scaring my friend Jacob, and that's not very nice." And she led him, monster by monster, room by room, out of the haunted house. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Jamie might not want you to know this, but at that haunted house, she had been the tiniest bit scared of the monsters too. But that was until she looked at the face of the zombie and was like, is that? And lo and behold, it was her next door neighbor, Brian. And then under the ghost sheet, could that be? She saw her big sister's shoes. And Jamie, you see, has a superpower. She isn't scared of anything as long as she understands what's going on. And so she knew that in those haunted houses, those weren't scary monsters. They were friends just pretending. She had learned that everything has to have a reason. And once you understand what's going on, it's not scary at all. It's fascinating. So when Jamie would go to the beach, she wasn't worried about sharks. She knew that the ocean was the sharks' home, and they had much better things to eat than people. And when she would be on the playground with her friends and they found a spider, she wouldn't scream and run like the other kids, but she would help the spider away to safety because she knew that spiders eat pesky creatures like mosquitoes, and they work to keep the ecosystem balanced. Now, last March, something a little bit scary happened to Jamie. One day, Jamie's mom came into her room and told Jamie that she wouldn't be able to go play outside with her friends at the park anymore. That on weekends, they couldn't go and visit Jamie's grandmother. And that for the rest of the school year, she was not going to school, but was instead going to be learning online. Because there was a nasty virus going around, and it was making a lot of people sick. But her mom explained to Jamie that if she stayed home, wore her mask, and washed her hands, she would be doing her part to keep herself and everyone else safe. And so even though Jamie was a little bit overwhelmed by all of the changes, she wasn't scared because she understood what she had to do to stay safe. So Jamie adapted to taking her classes online. She had long-distance tea parties with her grandma over her mom's phone. And although Jamie missed her friends, sometimes on walks, she would see them out playing in their yards and she would wave and say hi. And her mom even let her kick a soccer ball around the yard with her neighbor Brian, as long as they both wore their masks. Everything was settling into a new normal for Jamie and starting to feel very comfortable until her mom came home and told her that the scientists had been hard at work and had finally developed a vaccine for the virus. Jamie had a doctor's appointment the next day where she would get her shot. "I don't want a shot," Jamie cried. She might be a very brave girl, but she was still not a fan of needles. "How does it work? Why do I need it?" she asked. Her mom said, "Well, it's really complicated, Jamie. I'm not sure how to explain it to you. Just know that it's for your own good," said her mom. But that answer didn't really make sense to Jamie. And because she couldn't understand this shot, her superpower didn't work. And she began to get very, very scared. Jamie ran to her room, locked her doors, and hid under the covers. "If they want to give me a shot, they're going to have to break down my door," she cried. But then she heard a small voice. "Excuse me?" She looked around, but no one was there. "Excuse me," she heard again. The noise was coming from her arm. Jamie pulled out her magnifying glass, looked through it, and there, sitting on her arm, was a blobby-looking thing. "Who are you?" Jamie asked. "Nice to meet you finally, Jamie," said the creature. "I'm Luke. I'm a leukocyte, and I am part of your immune system." "My immune system?" asked Jamie. "Yup," said Luke. "The immune system is what works hard to keep your body safe from disease. Would you like me to explain how it works to you?" I guess," said Jamie. "Well," said Luke, "you know how you like to know everything that's going on so you don't get scared? Well, here in your immune system, we do too. White blood cells like me travel all around the body, making sure that everything is working like it should. When we run into an intruder, we sound the alarm, and a team of white blood cells come and fight off the bad guy. That's called an immune response. We are highly trained soldiers, but we're not perfect. Sometimes it takes a while for us to recognize an intruder, and they get to stay in the body, getting bigger and stronger and making you sick. That's when we go on red alert. We heat up the body with a fever to burn out the intruder. Sometimes you have to go to the doctor for medicine to help us out. And we might make you feel a little bit sick then, but it's all in order to keep the bad guys from winning. The important part is we always learn from our mistakes. There's these little guys in your body called antibodies, and they form whenever we fight off an invader. They have a very important job. They remember that invader so that next time around, we can shut it down before you get sick. "Okay," said Jamie. "That makes sense. But what does all this have to do with shots?" "Well," said Luke, "shots are like a trial run, like a practice run with a virus for us. You get the vaccine, and it lets us see what the invader looks like. That way we can create the antibodies before the invader even shows up. And when the real invader comes, we are already on high alert and can take it out. It doesn't stand a chance." "All right," said Jamie. "But if you're injecting bad guys into me, won't I get sick?" "Well," Luke explained, "there's all sorts of different vaccines for different illnesses. The COVID vaccine that you're getting tomorrow, they simply send in an instruction manual called mRNA. These instructions tell your body to create a model of the invader so that we can learn to recognize them. We can make antibodies and we can gain immunity. It's sort of like a model volcano you might make in science class. It's a really helpful teaching tool, but no matter how realistic it is, you're not going to get burnt up by lava. Oh, I get it now, said Jamie. Thanks, Luke. No problem, said Luke. We don't usually come out and talk to people like this because we have a very important job to do keeping you safe. But I'm glad we got a chance to chat. And just like that, as suddenly as he appeared, poof, he was gone. The next day, Jamie went excitedly to her doctor's appointment. The shot did hurt, but only for a second. And afterwards, she got a Band-Aid with soccer balls on it. And best of all, Jamie's mom told her that in a few weeks, Jamie would be able to go visit her grandma again, which made Jamie very happy. Now, Jamie told me I could share this story with all of you so that hopefully you could get her superpower too. And because you understand how vaccines work, you won't be scared either. For more information on vaccines and your immune system, check out these links.